children? Yes. In the last video, we have seen about till photosynthesis. That is, we are dealing with the chapter 1 nutrition in plants. No, in the last video, till photosynthesis, we have seen. Let us just recall what and all we have seen about it. What is nutrition? What are the types of nutrition? What are autotrophic? And then what is the process of what is photosynthesis? How does the process takes place? What are the raw materials for photosynthesis? And then what are the products which is released by the photosynthesis? And how do the plants get? That is, how do the plants transport its water and minerals to other parts of the plant? That is called xylem, a pipeline. I told you, no. So these are all the things which we have learned in the previous video. So now let me start with the heterotrophic nutrition. Till that autotrophy is over, now we are coming to the heterotrophic nutrition. Okay, just let me share my screen. Types of heterotrophic nutrition. As we all know that, what do you mean by heterotrophic nutrition? We have previously seen about it. Yes or no? So, organisms that depends on the other organisms are called as heterotrophs. It may be a living or it may be a dead and decayed matter. So, based on that, these heterotrophs are divided into many types. Okay. So, organisms which depend on other organism for their food, for their survival, are called heterotrophs. Okay. So, based on the that is based on the expectation of food, whether the organism will take the food from living being, other living being, or whether the organism are intaking the food from the dead and decayed matter. So based on that, this heterotrophic into many different types. First one is saprotrophs. Saprotrophs is an organism which depend on other dead and decayed matter for its food. Okay, so it eats one of the dead matters. So example for saprotroph is fungi, that is called mushroom. Okay, and then parasite, it depends on other living organisms for their food. So parasites, that is the plants which depend on other living organisms for their food. Example, cuscuta plant, insectivorous plant. This we can call it as a plant carnivore because this plant will catch up the insects. Okay, as here this is the specialization case, that is see, you can see towards some insectivorous plants like Venus flytrap, pitcher plant. Okay, so that and all it will be in a green in color. Okay, so will be in green in color, but if it is a green in color, it will undergo photosynthesis. Okay, in spite of the photosynthesis reaction is happening over there, why do this plant specifically feed on insects? So what is the reason, or what will be the main essential, that is what will be the main requirement for it? Why should it feeds on insects? Why? Because this insectivorous plant will grow in nitrogen deficient soil. Excuse me. Nitrogen deficient soil. Okay, what do you mean by nitrogen deficient soil? That is the soil which has no nitrogen or which lacks nitrogen. Okay, so in that soil only it will be able to grow. So if it feeds on insect, in the insect gut the nitrogen component is present. So when it gets digested, all the nitrogen substances from the insect, it will be getting to the plant, so that the plant is able to grow, because nitrogen is a very essential component for the plant growth. Okay. Next type is symbiotic relationship, that is mutual understanding. Okay, example, algae, that is a combination of algae and fungi, that is called as lichens. Okay, so that will be that is grow in a tree bark. So fungi will give shelter to algae. Algae will give food to the fungi, because though algae is a green in color, it is able to produce their own food by themselves. So algae needs food. So algae get its food from the fungi needs food. So algae gives food to the fungi, but this algae needs shelter. So that is living place. So this fungi gives the way to live in the same place. So fungi gives shelter, algae provides food to the fungi. So this is the mutual relationship between two organisms. So organisms which are mutual understanding. Okay. So no harmful effect on each other. So that type of relationship is called as symbiotic relationship, or we can call it as symbionts. Okay, the next slide. Coming to saprotrophs. As I already told you, the mode of nutrition in which organisms take in nutrition solutions from dead and decaying matter. This is very important. Okay, dead and decaying matter is called saprotrophic organism, or you can call it a saprotrophic nutrition. Plants which use saprotrophic mode of nutrition are called as saprotrophs. So the organism are called as saprotrophs. Example, what are the example? Bacteria, mushroom, and mold. So these are the examples of saprotrophs. Parasites. They are some plants which do not have chlorophyll. So they cannot synthesize their own food. Since they cannot synthesize their own food, these plants, these kind of plants depend on the food which is produced by the other plants. Okay, so that is depend upon the other living plant. So it takes ready-made food from other plants called host. Host means is a living cell. Host means a living cell. Okay. Since it deprives the host of valuable nutrients, it is called a parasite. It will take all the nutrients from the host. Okay. Example, Cuscuta plant. This is one of the plant. Okay, which is a parasitic plant. Next, insectivorous plant. There are a few plants which can trap insects and digest them. Such insect-eating plants are called insectivorous plants. Such plants do not get all the required nutrients from the soil in which they grow. So these are the examples: Venus flytrap, pitcher plant, sundew. And I have explained you what are insectivorous plant and why it is feeding on the insects. Everything I have explained you in the introduction part itself. Yes, symbiotic relationship. Symbiotic example, lichens. Some organisms live together and share shelter and nutrients. So this is called symbiotic relationship. In organisms called lichens, a chlorophyll containing partner, which is an alga, and fungus live together. This fungi provide shelter, water, and minerals to the alga, and in return, the alga provides food which is prepared by photosynthesis. Okay, alga provides food, and fungi provide shelter, water, and minerals. So this lichen is an organism which can grow on the tree barks, that is bark of the tree. Fungi and algae together call it as lichens. Okay. Next, the other one symbiotic relationship example is a legume. Plant need nitrogen in a soluble form. As I already told you, plants need nitrogen for their growth. That is a very essential element for the plant growth. Okay. So how do we get this nitrogen source? One is the bacterium called rhizobium that will be present in the soil. What is the bacterium called? Rhizobium. So the bacterium called rhizobium, it is present in the soil. Okay, so what is the role of this rhizobium in the soil? Means it will convert the atmospheric nitrogen. Already in the atmosphere, that is the air, we are having 78% of nitrogen. Okay, so that atmospheric nitrogen is converted into soluble form, or we can say that usable form, because the plant are not able to absorb the nitrogen as such, but it can able to absorb the nitrogen based compound, okay, for their growth. So but rhizobium cannot make its own food, so it lives in the root nodules of legumes. Legumes means peas, beans, all kinds of seeds are there, no, chickpea, cowpea, groundnut, all kinds of plants that belongs to legumes. Okay, so that will present in the root nodules of legumes. How this root nodule formed means, see, this is a root. Imagine that this is a root. Okay, so we can see that like small round like this in the root. So this is called root nodules. So in this root nodule only, the rhizobium is present. Okay, and provides them with nitrogen. So the rhizobium which is present at the root nodule, okay, it attracts the nitrogen, it absorbs the nitrogen from the atmosphere and also from the soil, and then it start converting that nitrogen into a usable form. Okay, so next, how are nutrients replenished in the soil? Fertilizers and manures contain plant nutrients. Okay, we already know that we will add manure and fertilizers whenever they need it in a rotation, okay, such as nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus. But these nutrients needed to be added time to time to enrich the soil. So we are eating 3 to 4 times. No, in the same way, the plant need some of the food in a time interval of time. Okay, in a regular interval. Uh, just like that, we are only the pouring water; it will not grow. Okay, we have to add manure and fertilizer. We have to give the nutrients to the soil, to the field. Then only the plant will able to grow. Next, growing leguminous plant. So, what is the use of growing leguminous plant? As I said to you that leguminous plant, that is in the root nodule of the leguminous plant, rhizobium bacteria is present. So, it helps to fix the atmospheric nitrogen so that the nitrogen is converted into a usable form, into a nitrates. So, that is the correct form of the plant which the plant are able to absorb, so that it enhances the plant growth more. Next slide. How are nutrients replenished in the soil? That is, what do you mean replenished? How are nutrients again enriched, more enriched? Okay, with the soil. One is mixed cropping. Okay, the type of agriculture involving in one field. In one field, we can able to grow 2 or more plants simultaneously. Okay, so there are many examples are there. This you will be learning in 9th standard again. Next, coming to crop rotation. What do you mean crop rotation means? The growing of different crops in succession on a piece of land to avoid exhaustion of the soil nutrients, to control weeds, pests, and diseases. That is, in a rotation, we have to change the crops in our field. Otherwise, if we are going one type of crop in again and again, the soil, that is the nutrient will be lacking in our soil. So that if you are doing in a rotation manner, all the things are controlled and no soil erosion has happened. So then and there we can replenish the soil again and again. So the crop rotation is very important. Okay. Next, making of a compost. So what do you mean compost? We already know that compost is an organic matter that has been decomposed in a process called composting. This process recycles various organic materials otherwise regarded as a waste products and produces a soil conditioner. That is, for making a compost, we are preparing I'm preparing one video for that, because in our Sri Shakti school garden itself, our gardening team is preparing a compost. Okay, that I'll show you a video in the next class. In the coming classes, I'll be showing you the video so that we are able to prepare a manure in the same way, so that we can go do the activity for the microforming. Okay, children. So before that, I'd like to give a summarization of the compost. That is, what are the things we are using it? Brown, that is brown leaves, that is called dry leaves. Greens means some green leaves also should, that is we have to add on it. Then cow dung, we have to use it. Okay, so all these things mix up together. Okay, we have to make on pile. Okay, we have to make on pile, and alternate days we have to just turn the pile. And if you want to add a water on it, we have to spray the water on it in order to regulate the moisture content. Okay, so after that, 14th to 16th day, it will be make us a compost. So that is ready for that is ready to add on the field. Okay, so the compost is ready so that we can use it for the plant growth. Okay, so these are the things which I have uploading in the coming video. Okay, so far we have seen about types of heterotrophic nutrition, saprotroph, the next insectivorous plant, symbiosis, parasites. All these four are the saprophytic, heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Okay, and after that, what is the use for the crop rotation and how do we make a compost? So everything we have seen about it. And the next video I'm going to upload about how are we making a compost in our school garden. So just wait for a while. I'll be uploading it. Yeah. Thank you, children.